Hey, welcome back to the Virgo channel. My name is Laura. I'm going to do a general message for Virgo. Note that energy is fluid. Rules can be reversed. Always interpret the message as it best resonates with you. If you're new to the channel, anything of any importance or relevance to the channel, you can find in the description box. And I like to go deep within my readings. So I do look at everything, but we focus on the spiritual blocks, the shadows, and see how they play out as karmic themes within your experiences. This helps you to heal because you get to see a different perception. It also allows you to break karmic cycles because you can then do different things to get different results. When you change yourself, you change the dynamic of your connection, you change the dynamic of the energy that's around you. So these are good readings because they teach you how to, create the life experiences that you want to create. All right. Now, if you want to enter into winning a free reading with me, you have to be open to getting a shadow reading. You got to like the video, you got to subscribe to the channel, and you got to write the word of the video in your comment bar. Now, when I say that you can shapeshift your reality, it doesn't mean that you can make anyone fall in love with you. However, when you heal yourself, a lot of times the people that you're connected to that aren't treating you fairly, you wind up like you don't see them the same way after because you change your vibration. So then you become a magnet for who and what you want to create in your life, opposed to the wound. A lot of times when we don't heal, it's subconsciously we create the same experiences that we grew up in, that we've had before, whatever the traumatic experience was. There's an element of always afraid of creating it and then unconsciously creating it. So when we find out again what the behaviorisms are, what the habits are, what you're doing to create the undesirable life experience, you actually get to shape shift your experience. Not to mention, you get to see why your person's doing what they're doing, because when you're dealing with a person that has shadows, they're never coming from their truth. So if you want to enter into winning a free reading, you have to, again, be open to a shadow reading. You got to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and write the word of your video in your comment bar. All right, the word of the video is this card that I'm about to pull out, and it's the underlying energy that tells me why everyone's doing what they're doing. All right, insecurity, low self-esteem. I feel like, Virgo, you're connected to someone that they want to talk to you, but you're not making it easy for this person at all. And I feel like you thought that this person was a lot more confident than what they are. There's a lot of reasons why this person doesn't approach you. Partially, it's because they are insecure. And second of all, I don't feel like they treated you well. Third of all, I feel like they're very overwhelmed with what's going on in their own life. They don't, when I say overwhelmed, it's not like there's a lot of things going on. I just feel like this person feels blah, like there's actually nothing going on, and they're overwhelmed with the fact of that everything in the world is changing. They feel that they don't make enough money, and they don't know whether or not they're going to have enough money um, to live, to be honest with you. And I feel like there's a lot of people in this person's situation right now. And it's because, again, they haven't changed with the times, they haven't grown. So the thing is, they are connected to you, they do want to talk to you, but they don't know whether you're going to reject them, and they're already in a low space. So it's like, if you reject me and you're in, and like already I'm in a low space, it's like I kind of feel like this person holds on to the idea of you and them being together, but after, like when they clean up their life and they're not ready. And the thing is, if they come towards you now, either you would be like, I'm not interested, go take a hike, which they wouldn't be able to take, or you'd say, okay, let's go. What are you going to show me? And they're like, I can't really show you anything because I'm still trying to figure out my life. I'm still trying to figure out whether I'm staying at this job whether or not I'm going to leave this job, whether I'm going to move, whether like this person is looking to change their life because they're not happy. And they're also looking to do it by changing outside things. And my thing is, I feel like they need to change inside things and that they're attracted to you because you hold this spiritual element. You feel like home. I feel like you might be someone that always posts like spiritual stuff on your page or talks about it. And this person is like, just keeps finding themselves gravitating back to you. But you don't see them doing anything because they're insecure. That's the word that you're going to write in your comment bar. And we're going to see why I just channeled out what's happening, what's going on. So they weren't too nice to you. And the reason why is, well, I feel like this person is really a nice person. It's just they give to everybody else. I feel like part of the reason why they want to change things is because when you don't really have enough of your own identity, you don't fulfill yourself. You don't fulfill yourself like on a passionate level, on a psychological level, on any level. And so this person winds up doing a lot for other people. And I feel like, Virgo, you used to be like that, but you're not like this now. There's almost an element where I feel like you're older than them, but though I know you're not older than, I feel like psychologically or emotionally you are older than this person because you were someone that was also a giver. You were also someone that also got their love and their affection from being a savior. And I feel like that's part of the reason why your person's insecure, is because they're not really fulfilled by that, by fixing everyone else's life and not fulfilling their own life, because that's what's happening. And I feel like they finally got to a place, or they're getting to a place where they're not satisfied behind, hiding behind the facade of being this perfect person. So they acted like they didn't care. But I feel like they act like they're not, they acted like they didn't care because, first of all, they're not comfortable with expressing their emotions. Second of all, they don't know what's going on with their life again. So, and I feel like it's their way of scoping you out, that they were, acting like they didn't care. So it wasn't drawing that much attention to them so that they could, kind of figure out whether you were dating someone, what was going on in your life. And the problem with that is I feel like you kind of psyched them out, where they looked into your life and they see you're happy in your life. They see that you do things in your life, that you're your own person. And this person really isn't their own person. And not because anyone's holding them prisoner. I feel like, one too many bad relationships where this person just stopped, being interactive in their life. And they stopped being interactive in their life because it was, like I said, it's safer. They got their love from the people in their environment, from doing for them. But the problem is it's not fulfilling. And I feel like the people in their environment now expect it. It's become like almost like a job, where before they used to do it where they were the savior and they got like the praise and the, oh, thanks a lot, and like a pat on the back, and do you want to come in for dinner, or do you want, and now people are like, are you going to pick that up? Are you going to do this? Are you going to do that? Like it's expected. And they're like, and they're not getting the accolades anymore for doing that. So I think this person had the realization that, first of all, that they were getting their emotional fulfillment from people that really weren't, they're not real, they don't have gratitude for it. They're not really appreciative of it. Inconsistent, and they were inconsistent. Like, I feel like they have a problem being inconsistent because they're very moody. And that's like, they try not to be very moody, but like I said, they're not living a very fulfilling life. And so what would happen is when you're doing things to be the savior for everyone else, a lot of your happiness relies on whether other people are happy. And not even with what you did the job, just whether they're happy. Because, like I said, this person was so used to doing it that it became automatic that it really wasn't appreciated that now this person is actually feeling like the way that they treated you with aloofness, like they didn't care, like these people that they're doing for, it's kind of treating them like that. So that's why it's really not fulfilling and they're like in a really uncomfortable place. They're actually mad. And they're mad because in a way they feel like people should be more grateful. But the truth of the matter is, it's like it's making them look at themselves to see that they're really living out of balance and have lived out of balance for a long time. See, it's like, but the truth of the matter is that they feel such a strong spiritual connection to you. Like there's almost like this past life memory of that they felt that they've already lived with you before, that they already know you before. And that's, I feel like this person is not a spiritual type person. I feel like they're starting to get into like spirituality, and mainly because their life isn't working and they're unconsciously looking for answers, which is again why they're gravitated towards you. But there's a sense of familiarity with you, even though I don't really feel like they ever gave you the chance. They didn't give you the chance, not because they didn't like you. It looks like they didn't give you a chance because, again, they were insecure. Like I feel like for some, like this person had like their ex hanging around all the time, or for others it was just the way that you spoke to this person that sometimes they felt as if, you know, you were cold or like, and I feel like everything is when a person is in balance, they tend to see things as they see things as they are. So if they're wounded, which this person is, the way that you said things were kind of reminded them of their ex. Like, um, I feel like you have a very strong personality. You're very direct, and this person's ex was like that, and it triggered a lot of old memories, and it made them feel like, again, insecure, like a child, because that's how the ex made them feel. So there's also a little bit of projecting on to you what this person perceives you would be without really getting to know you because of the way that, again, the way that they saw you, perceived you. Like I said, they perceived you a certain way, which isn't really, I feel like, isn't enough to base anything on, but that's what happens. It's like if there's almost a thing where for a long time, I think that your person tried to talk themselves out of liking you and trying to find something, of why they wouldn't like you because it's difficult to change your life, uncomfortable. I mean, there's a reason why this person was friends with, and doing everything for family. Most people have more friends than just their family. They have, they go out into the world. This person might have a few friends, but those friends, it became more like running errands and doing things for them instead of like real friendships of going out and creating experiences. Like this person's was using their energy for everybody else. And that happens, like you said, if we've been traumatized, if we've been scared to venture into new relationships because we've gotten hurt. The problem is then we're giving too much to people in our lives. And those people, like, again, they're human. They're not going to really be, everyone takes advantage. everyone takes for granted when you're always around and you're always doing for everyone else. It's like it does become expected because people are creatures of habit. So, and then your person would feel bad about saying that they couldn't do it, and now they're unhappy with their life. Like I said, I feel like you're someone that lived that experience yourself, so you're like, I get it. But you also see that it's a lower vibration, like you've done the work. And again, this person like is like acted like they were powerless for a long time. And in that it made you feel powerless because it's like, I can't help you. I can't tell you to not see or do for your family or these people that you've been doing for so long, even though you're miserable and unhappy. You're the only person that can do it for yourself. However, I am going to say things to you directly, and are going to feel like a child. You are going to feel like I'm scolding you and that I'm lashing out at you. Though that's because you have a wound there. It's that you need to change your life. You're not happy. And so because you're not happy, you're like inconsistent with me. Like you are very moody. You're like 1 second you're nice, 1 second you're not, because do you look at me like I'm just a chore, like one more thing that you have to do? So it's just easy to act like, you don't care, you know? And to be honest with you, doing the savior work at one time used to give you some sort of, you know, accolades, power, made you feel important, it's a counterfeit way. I mean, it's not counterfeit when you do it in balance because you're always supposed to help people. However, like if you're doing it to be a savior, you're doing it because you have a shadow that you are like, instead of that shadow being healed, you're saying, I'm going to be the savior instead. Because no one wants to give all their energy away to everybody else and not live their life. And so, again, the memory of you, the memory like that you feel familiar, this person feels connected to you. So we have to look and see what is they going to do? Or is there any deeper energy that we can pull from this? Because right now it's like just like this person like dated just a lot of people and none of those relationships were good. So it's again, they decided to live safe. Let's see what there's a lesson to be learned from this again. And I feel like the lesson is that this person like can't live like can't live safe. It's not about living safe. It's like they're cutting themselves off from love. And not just because of you, but experiences. It's like this person is like by living safe, they're saying they're not secure with themselves. And if they're not secure with themselves, it's because they don't really know who they are, or they're coming from like traumas. So I feel like this person did not have a very stable upbringing. And because they didn't have a stable upbringing, they weren't strong within themselves, and they have just had bad relationships, giving too much. This person, if their default is that they're the savior, well, in relationships, it wouldn't be uncommon that they would overgive in the relationship too. And that unconsciously tells the person that we're with when we actually do that um, that our needs don't matter, that we're not important. And that's the thing with your person, that they keep creating that. And I feel, Virgo, that you've done that too in the past. I feel like that you used to overgive and be the savior and the fixer at one time growing up. I don't feel like you're that person anymore. However, I do feel like you get into relationships and you overgive. And so this person is stuck in that, where they've overgived and now it's like, I have to get out and I'm going to hurt people by not and changing it. And really then I have to really look at the big problem, which is my identity, what does my life look like? If I remove these people and I don't do this, I'm gonna have a hell of a lot of time on my hands. It's like, and that's why I feel like they are kind of looking your way. You know, they're looking your way because it's like I have feelings for you, maybe, just maybe. And I feel like that's a lesson. I've been learning about twin flames. It feels right to me. This person feels like um, that you're someone important. They may not know the word twin flame, but they know like this is a spirit, this is not a regular connection. This isn't a regular connection. It's like this is a spiritual connection. And like I said, I feel like you're someone that posts spiritual stuff on your wall, and this person reads it, and they're like, I understand what you're saying. I don't feel like they ever explored anything spiritual. Religious, yes, but not that they have a real connection to that. I don't feel that they go to church, or if they do, they go for their family. It's not really their thing, but that's so there's a sense of wanting something, needing something, and that they do. They need spiritual healing. And I feel like the connection between you and this person is spiritual, and it's leading them into like reading and finding out about who they are on a spiritual level, which is also now why they're looking around at the people in their life and they're like, what the hell am I doing? Why am I here? What am I doing? And they are getting agitated, they're getting moody because now imagine when you don't want to be doing something and someone calls up because every Thursday you decide to take them to the doctor and you used to enjoy doing it because you were the savior. And now that person calls up and says, are you going to come here at 7 o'clock to pick me up to go to the doctor? That person now is like, I don't want to take you to the doctor. They're like mad about having to do it. They're like, I don't want to do it. And the reason why is because they're starting to heal themselves. They're starting to realize there's got to be more to life. I can't just put my life on hold anymore because I'm afraid of what might happen. I feel your energy around me and I wonder, are you thinking of me too? It's like because they're like, I want out of my situation. I don't want to play this part. I just don't know how how I wouldn't get sucked back in to doing this without like me having something in my life, something that I'm happy about doing. You know, it's almost to be like, no, I can't take you to the doctor because I have plans. I'm doing this almost like if they had something, it makes them feel like when really that's how you know they need healing, because really they shouldn't need anyone to do it. I close my eyes and I imagine you're here with me. It feels so real. I'm beginning to understand this is what it means to be in the 5D with you. They've just been doing a lot of spiritual reading, like I said. And they're like, I still feel a connection to you. Like I can't, like it means something. It's like, and I feel like in a way they're like, I know that it means that that we should be together, or I need to like change my life. Like you mean something to on a big level. Because of you, I'm starting to see what is really important in my life. See this shit, no lie. Like this person is like, because of you, I want to change my life. I've been getting a lot of these like happy kind of readings lately that people are like changing their life, like transforming their life, right now. I'm almost like, what are you gonna say? I wish you could see that we are mirroring each other right now. This person imagines that you're mirroring them right now because they're like, are you thinking of me? Because I'm thinking about you. I feel your energy. And if I feel your energy, well, you must be thinking about me also. And, like they're in that part of their minds. Like, I'm starting to understand what 5D is and what 3D is. And all the spiritual stuff, and they're not spiritual, but they're like it's almost like almost like an escape into a new life that they never even thought existed, because if there's a little bit of magic, there's a little bit of synchronicity, there's a little bit of, just this like refreshing energy, opposed to, like, imagine just being the savior, the fixer, that person for everyone. Like, yeah, after a while, like you might have felt like a big person for doing it after a certain amount of time, but then it's like boring, you know? So we have to ask ourselves, why did you attract this person into your life? I'm gonna pull like three more also to see if this person can actually do anything. Self-love. And I feel like, again, you're mirroring this person. It's like this energy is that's how you used to be, but I also feel like you tend to overgive. And this person is that same way. And so, again, if you were taught to, that you're a good person, like a good girl, a good boy, for giving, for doing, right? If we grew up in an imbalanced environment where, you know, there wasn't enough money, or our parents overworked and they worked hard, but there wasn't enough time, then by the children doing the chores, by the children taking on res- parent responsibilities, because parents weren't home, they were seen as good. They got their love from, again, from doing, which isn't bad. It's what we do when we're children. We have empathy for our parents. We can obviously see when they're going through it, and we also see that they didn't have perfect relationships and their life wasn't perfect, but we love them just the same, and we were taught to give. You're taught that you're good if you're give too. However, to give to the point that you're stepping into a parent's role, well, then you're not creating yourself. And then if you're not creating yourself, you don't know yourself. If you're not creating yourself, you're also not meeting other people, connecting to other people. So then when you have to go and connect to other people, it kind of feels awkward. You also don't have really that much to share. You also don't want to share if you feel that your life was a lot different from someone else's. Like, someone else's life is like where there was enough, where the parent, maybe one parent didn't work, and they got to do all these extra activities and go all over the place. And so they're really confident with meeting people, and they're able to have a conversation about this, which makes them, so there's a sense of you and this person needing to give self-love to yourselves. This person's acting like a mirror, and they actually see it. They're like, we're a mirror, but I feel like you've mirrored this energy before, mainly because you grew up similar. Your survival mechanism and survival for emotional survival was to give. There's a sense of sensitivity. There's a very strong spiritual connection. And so, um, but self-love is to be able to love yourself by becoming love, by doing what you love, but by connecting to someone that you also love, and also to love, to learn what unconditional love actually is, that you're deserving of it, regardless of what you do and what you don't do. And that doesn't mean like to hurt, but that means, like, again, that you shouldn't have to self-sacrifice and be a savior in order to be loved. That in order to make sure that you don't overgive to anyone, you have to love yourself, is what the message is here. Otherwise, even being in a relationship with this person, with two givers, one person would wind up not giving as much, and it could wind up being like a codependent relationship. Magic. And so not all the time are our wounds where like not all the time the shadows where wounds are. Sometimes gifts are underneath those wounds. We just don't remember. We don't remember what those gifts were. And we didn't remember what the gifts were because again, life, you go out back into the world and you live. Now, I both feel like you're both very intuitive. The magic is there's a spiritual element, but that's your gift. I feel like for you, you worked on yourself, your business, and you found other gifts, but I feel like you and this person also have this intuitive connection. And for this person that again is thinking about you, they never realized how intuitive that they were. They never knew about the psychic place, the spiritual uh, aspect of life. They never knew. If anything, they were told not to tap into that because it was evil. So this person is actually seeing, you know, like that you guys are very similar. And I feel like while this person wasn't really figuring it out, they're not really figuring it out, you're actually still, again, creating your magic through creating yourself, putting more time and energy into your business and trauma. So you both grew up having to deal with trauma. And so psychological trauma, emotional trauma, or spiritual trauma, emotional, physical, psychological, the mind doesn't know the difference. It just knows trauma, which is again why your person stopped going out and they were the savior because they were living safe. Only what had happened is it became not comfortable. And then you come along. And then it's like, I like you, but I don't really know whether or not you would like me and all this weird energy. So it's almost like all their wounds came up from, again, they're being presented with, do you want to stay living safe or do you want to take a chance? And what came up is, you know, the trauma and realizing I want to give myself like a life, love, because that's really what that is. When this person wasn't giving themselves love, they were cutting themselves off from love because they were living safe. The focus was on uh, living safe because they don't trust. So when that happens, it's like the focus is on not trusting, not on even living safe, because it's why you're doing what you're doing. So this person was unconsciously saying, I can't really have it. That's why I'm going to do this. But in a way, they always thought, well, I'll still get accolades from the people here. I'll still get love from them until it became like, well, they're not doing it anymore. Now it's like expected. And that's like you said, so which made them be like, okay, well, the same thing happens. Of course, they want something bigger and better. I still have some growing to do. So this person still doesn't really feel like 100% ready, but it does so that they are in the beginning stages of this is what I want. I used to abandon people to make myself feel important. So I feel like there's a sense of like that was the way that they dealt with relationships after those toxic relationships. They were like, okay, well, you know, I'm not the one that's going to get hurt anymore. So I'm going to like, and that is what normally happens too when people have gotten hurt a lot. Then what happens is they try to like overcompensate. It's a second chakra imbalance. And it's because this person doesn't have any passions, doesn't have an identity. Their identity is like what they remember is trauma. Because they didn't go out and create themselves in childhood. And like I said, the bad relationships where they were taken advantage of, where they overgave in their relationships, they got hurt. So then they went the opposite way in relationships where they didn't give anything. They just played games. Like they abandoned people to make themselves feel important because they were hurt before. And then, like I said, still just kept people, family close to them and close friends where they still overgave. So that was their life. And then their double life was to be in and out of relationships, it looks like. And now here you come along, like I said. And there was a sense of spirituality, like connection, but this person is not ready. And that's what keeps coming up because this person still doesn't believe that they're good enough for you. So they hold back, but they do miss you. But even though that they miss you, they are just not ready. They're just not ready. Yeah, like this person was like, I was pretending to be someone else. And that's what I said, like when they first met you, they were cold, they were standoffish, but that's because they were living a facade. The thing is, this person is torn about what to do, but they're still insecure. That's really what it comes down to. This whole reading, it's like really is this word, this person is insecure. And that's why they don't do it. However, I do believe that they're processing and they're beginning to figure things out. They're just not ready to do anything right now. So we have to ask ourselves again, why did you attract this person into your life? And before, what it said was trauma to find your magic. Well, we're going to put these cards back and we're going to pull three more to see why else. Because when a relationship really doesn't work out, we need to ask. Because this person just isn't ready. They're just not, they have feelings for you. They're starting to figure it out. They're starting to be led into the spiritual element of life. And I think that it's just so different from their logical, analytical self, that which is how they're used to creating their life, that it makes them feel uncomfortable. However, I feel like eventually that living without this will be uncomfortable, but they're going to have to be forced into it where, like, again, they just get really uncomfortable. They're uncomfortable, but clearly they're not uncomfortable enough. And that's because, well, I don't want to do this anymore, but I still feel bad about, doing it. And sometimes I feel like it's okay and sometimes I'm not. So like I said, they're figuring it out. Again, you got self-love again. So outdoors in nature, green, they're outdoors in nature. And let's see what else. Innocence. So I chalk up innocence as in like to be like a child, right? I feel like your innocence was robbed. But to incorporate innocence, it would be to go out and play, to go out and explore. But I feel like your innocence was robbed because of the trauma. And what this whole experience is that when you create yourself, which is how you find your magic, you do get a better connection to source. I take outdoors nature rather, source, spirit, because the universe is God. God's universe is the language rather is sacred geometry and is all through nature. And so I feel like you got clearer in what it is that you want. And that it was all about you giving yourself self-love right now. Because this person's not capable. They're not on the same vibration. Like I said, I feel like your energy, you're almost like older. than them. That's what it feels like. And then we always ask one more card just to say, well, what else can we, what other energy, or what else should we know that would actually make us feel a little bit better? Because it doesn't feel good to be connected to someone that doesn't know how to give, that isn't ready. They're not ready, but why aren't they ready? And because again, if they're not uncomfortable enough, that's just, they're uncomfortable. Again, they're starting to seek things out, but they need more time. And you're not supposed to wait. You're supposed to, again, be giving yourself self-love. The calm, it's again, I see it's about being in the present moment, because this is like all about you growing the light within yourself, and that's through giving yourself self-love. Because what is God? God is love. What is the universe? Love, the energy of love. So how do you heal yourself? Well, you are actually the universe, just in physical form. So you want to become the vibration of love by, again, healing yourself, finding yourself, connecting to other people. And this is like, I cast off my doubts, all fears dissipate, and I find peace in my own being. And that's how, again, you do give yourself self-love, right? By getting a strong connection to the spirit part of yourself, the higher self, the God part of self. And you can only really tap into that part of self when you're calm, when you're relaxed, when your mind is clear. And so it's, again, to make time for that, and to it seems like it's time, this time is all about you. Acceptance, I accept every step that life presents me without resistance. I try to find out what the universe is trying to teach me, and so that I can grow. Thus, I advance in freedom on the path of light. So it's, again, accepting like these spiritual lessons. I mean, this was a spiritual lesson. This person, there is a connection. It's not like they're not. And there can be unconditional love, because it's, again, unconditional. You don't have control over it. But the truth of the matter is, this person is not ready. They're not on the same vibration. So I feel like it's really more for this person to learn that they need to heal a little bit more. They need to evolve. And I feel like that's what you did for this person. And I think for them, because they never rose up, you had to put the time and effort into yourself. And when you do, you find your magic. And that brings you back to your innocence, right? And that actually helps you get a better connection to God. And that is why I believe you, again, like that was the gift that this relationship brought. It's like, and I say gift because if this person really was there and gave to you, like you wouldn't have, you wouldn't have found your own magic. And if it never existed, where you didn't have those feelings for the person, then it really wouldn't have happened either. You know what I mean? It was the fact that both you and this person have that unconditional love for each other. However, just because you have unconditional love for each other doesn't mean that you're supposed to work out. Sometimes the person comes in just for a day, just for a time, maybe a season, but definitely not a lifetime, to teach you about something that needs to be healed within yourself, something to bring out something beautiful within yourself. And I think that you brought out something that needs healing within your person, and this person brought out your magic, brought out something beautiful within inside of you, because that's where you had to put the time. I'm going to leave that there, Virgo. You let me know how you resonated with this one, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.